G'day and welcome to the Best of the Rest podcast with Stix and Freeza. How are you, Stix?
Yeah, good, mate. Very good, especially after watching the end of that race.
It was a bit more exciting than some past races.
Well, yeah, especially the first 3/4 of that race was a bit meh. How you going?
Bit dull.
But definitely spiced up in the last, 10 or so laps.
Yeah, last 10. Norris was chasing down Verstappen there going, can I pat that dog?
He loved it.
But unfortunately, Verstappen said, no, you cannot.
You cannot pat this dog. And held him off. Just kept him at arm's length.
He did. 0.725 was the margin at the end. I think, was there about 5 seconds with 10 laps to go, roughly, somewhere around that mark?
5 or 6 seconds. I remember looking going, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually it might have been 6 seconds with 12 laps to go. And I was like, he's not going to take half a second a lap out of him. And then he was on his tail within 5 laps. Like he just turned it on.
Yeah, if he had got that DRS, I think he was just over 1 second on like the second to last lap. If he had got DRS then and got a bit closer, it might have been a different result.
But even though he didn't win, how great is this for Formula One?
Yeah,
This is
exciting, isn't it?
amazing. I thought we were in for a dead rubber of a season, and it looked that way for the first few races.
Yeah, no safety cars or incidents that, was a factor for saying, oh, well, he was that close because of this or that.
Held Verstappen back because of XYZ. He would, like it was pure race pace.
It was. All right. Well, for those of you who don't know the results, do a quick 20 to 1. So 20th or retiree, Alex Albon. 19th, Alonso. 18th, Bottas. 17th, Sargent. 16th, Gasly. 15th, Zhou Guanyu. 14th, Ocon. 13th, Ricciardo. 12th, Magnussen. 11th, Hulkenberg. Top 10, Yuki Tsunoda. 9th, Lance Stroll. 8th, Perez. 7th, Russell. 6th, Hamilton. 5th, Sainz. 4th, Piastri. In your podium, Leclerc, Norris in second, and Verstappen for first.
Definitely didn't look like it was going to be a spicy race at the midway point.
No.
But we got there in the end.
No, there wasn't too much moving around from starting positions.
To be fair, if that take the Verstappen-Norris battle out of it, it was a pretty dry sort of a race. There wasn't too much going on, no safety cars, nothing intervening, no real incidents to speak of. A couple guys went off the track, but locked up. Well, actually, really, two of the most experienced, Perez and Hamilton, were the two that locked up and ended up cutting through the gravel traps.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a bit of a snooze fest. Didn't have Crofty there to chat some shit either.
No.
Had what was his name?
Harry Benjamin. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds right. I was about to call him Billy, but that didn't feel right.
Billy Benjamin.
But yeah, Harry Benjamin. No, 2 first names.
Billy Benjamin sounds like something you shouldn't be doing. Don't worry, Mum. I'm having a Billy Benjamin.
Well. Back to Formula One before we divulge in a 15-minute conversation about God knows what.
Oh, good.
Driver of the day, Lando. I can't really give any votes to anyone other than Lando.
I agree.
Like it was...
Yeah.
Nothing else stood out, really.
No, it's just a bit of jostling with positions, nothing too major. No one doing outstanding performances.
There's just nowhere to really overtake. Unless you're Tsunoda overtaking Sargent in the middle of a mess. That was wild.
Yeah, had some balls there.
For once, Sargent didn't fuck up and take someone out, so that was good to see.
He gave some bit of room, bit of wheel-to-wheel action.
Don't mind seeing a bit of that. And
Hulkenberg took the opportunity to slip it past him as well.
Just see ya.
Yeah.
I'm a pat that dog.
He got that pat in. Ricciardo dropped a few to 13th.
Oh, it's frustrating, isn't it?
Tsunoda dropped a few to 10th, just scraping into the points.
Like Tsunoda's consistency is admirable.
Yeah.
He's been just up there the whole year. But Ricciardo he's just not, puts in a blinding performance, last round in Miami?
Yeah.
That was only in the sprint though, wasn't it? But then...
Only really the sprint.
And then he's just...
And in fourth.
utter shit. It's like you just don't know what to make of him. I think unless he picks it up, he's forcing himself out the door.
Yeah, look, it's frustrating. It's 13th isn't a terrible result for an RB, but when you got one where they qualied, but Sonoda getting points and finishing higher pretty consistently now. It's got to be better.
Well, how many points has Sonoda got now? Double digits?
I can look that up.
Because I don't think there's been many races where he hasn't scored a point.
Yeah, so Sonoda's 10th in the points tally with 15 points.
It's bloody impressive, considering the top 5 teams should have the top 10. Wait, who's he outscoring that would be theoretically in the top 10 drivers? Stroll.
Stroll's 11th with 11.
Yeah, it says it all.
Behrman's still 12th with 6 points. Tied Hulkenberg's 6th on 13. He's 6 points at 13th. And Ricardo 14, 15 Ocon.
Alonso had a stinker though, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That was one to forget.
Just nothing went right from this weekend, and I don't know if you can really blame him or it was just one of those weekends.
Yeah.
Poor bastard.
Looking to the top of the standings, Perez is starting to feel the pressure now, so he had his 8th place finish today. So you got Verstappen out in the lead on 161. You got Leclerc second on 113. Perez third on 107. Norris fourth on 101. Sainz fifth on 93. And then you take a bit of a step down to Piastri sixth on 53. And so on from there. But only with 107 points, and Leclerc could potentially start to pull away. Norris, with his recent performances, could jump in. If he doesn't start performing to the Red Bull that we saw at the start of the year and last year, he could be dropping down the order quite quickly.
You could have Sainz taking that seat next year.
Very possible. Very possible.
In dreamland for a second, just humour me.
Yep.
Imagine a world where Verstappen is DNF the next 2 races and
Norris wins both. And
Norris or Leclerc jump in and all of a sudden they're right there in the championship.
Yeah. Should get spicy.
I can't see that going anywhere, but I think we could be having some quite competitive races for first position for the rest of the year.
I hope so.
All right, best moments from the race. Fire away.
Norris chasing down Verstappen for the last 10 laps.
Yeah, that's about all I had too.
15 laps even.
There wasn't really anything that stood out.
Couple of wheel-to-wheel overtakes in the bottom half of the grid, but
yeah, like we mentioned, Yuki on Sargent and then Hulkenberg on Sargent as well. They were quite good, but outside of that, there was not a whole lot going on.
There wasn't really a whole deal, really. Room for improvement?
Well, just before we move to room for improvement, best moments, Sargent getting through a race without making himself look like an utter twat.
Well,
that was amazing.
That's a good race for Sargent.
So instead of having a chat about him in room for improvement, I might just put him in the best moments. You didn't make an absolute dick of yourself this week. Well done.
Yeah, well, I didn't think I was going to hear that come out of your mouth. Sargent getting some accolades.
Room for improvement. Look, again, there's not a whole lot that jumps out to me personally. Probably Williams, like, mate, just put the wheel on the car.
Yeah.
Like, you've just signed Albon for another couple of years. Don't make him regret it.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's an exit clause in his contract. Don't make him jump ship.
Yeah, look, that's about as much as I could see too. Was the shitty pit stop with Albon with his front right, and we were trying to take 2 goes at it, nearly getting
that was a fresh airy.
Yeah, head ran over by the car.
Quick shout out though, Sauber got a firm grip on their nuts now. You don't see them rolling around like you did at the start of the year.
They do, yeah. They got a grip on their nuts.
Finally got that squirrel grip.
Maybe because they know that Hulkenberg's coming to them next year.
We better up our game. That angry German might sort us out.
Oh, yeah, he would too. I guess the only other honourable mention for room for improvements, Fernando Alonso, just a nothing weekend. Well, I guess one to mention maybe as a positive is Magnussen. Very quiet weekend, which was great after what he's done recently. He's bloody lucky he hasn't got a race ban, to be honest. And he finished 12th.
What do you make of the threatened race ban and the accumulation of penalties in that last race?
He should have got one. That's ridiculous.
Race ban?
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike?
Wasn't it that Alonso in China got 3, what do they call them?
Demerits or something?
Yeah, like the penalty points. You got
that's right.
3 penalty points for pushing.
For some bullshit.
I can't remember who it was. Was
Science,
it Hamilton
wasn't
or
it?
Sainz or someone just pushing a driver wide, and then bloody Magnussen can go in doing whatever the bloody hell he wants, and only gets 2 penalty points at maximum.
They do seem to be very harsh on Alonso because he has 1,000 IQ plays, like unsettling George Russell and making him crash.
Yeah, but even that, like, it wasn't contact. Yeah, it was a bit of brake test maybe.
But it was even marginal at that. It was just sort of like, I'm going to break your rhythm and stop you getting a good flow onto the back straight.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Russell really had to swerve to avoid running into him. It's just sort of, I don't know.
No.
I guess a fine line, but like if you've got someone with a faster car behind you, you've got to do little tips and tricks to try and stop them from just burning you around the outside in a straight with DRS.
Yeah, and I guess that's what Alonso was trying to say in his defence, similar to when he had that epic battle with Perez.
Yeah.
He was just taking different lines. He was doing whatever he could to defend, and even when Perez got past him a couple of times, he took the different line so he could cut back in. And
in Brazil last year.
Yeah.
That last corner, he was taking it wider and choking the corner so Perez couldn't get a clean run.
Yeah.
Like, it's smart racing.
Yeah.
If you can do that and it's not blocking, it's not, I don't know. I can see the argument for both sides, but if you take away a driver's ability to be intelligent on the racetrack, you're stopping these higher level drivers from using their full arsenal.
Yeah.
But yeah,
then when
when
you got Magnussen just running into people and holding people up, like, it's just not racing anymore.
Holding people up's an interesting one, isn't it? Because you've got Perez in 21 Abu Dhabi where he was holding up Hamilton.
Yeah.
Like, where do you draw? That's a hard one because where do you draw the line between holding someone up for your teammate for the team, but then being unsportsmanlike with it? Because when you got DRS trains and you can tank through the first sector and a half of a track because there's nowhere to overtake and you can give your teammate half a second.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything wrong with that?
I don't like it. I just don't feel like it's racing. You're prohibiting the cars behind to show what they can do.
True. I think
it's like weaving down a straight or into a braking zone. Like, it's just unsportsmanlike. You know, it's
my mind
harder to police, but it's a similar thing.
My mind sort of goes to like other sports, say footy, for example, when you've got a team that's full on attacking, but then they turn to shut the ground down and stop teams from scoring at all. It's sort of similar in a way, like to how you go about it, but at the same time, you can't.
Yeah, but
I think it's up to the FIA, isn't it?
For footy, it'd be like holding someone's jumper.
Yeah.
It's not just defending.
I guess
it'd be like holding onto someone's shirt while they're trying to run.
Well, in reality, it's up to the FIA to not allow their tracks to be a sector and a half where cars can do that and no one can get past, and then that's just how it goes for 20, 30, 40 laps because no one can literally get past.
Yeah, it's because of all the corners, and they can harvest and then take off down a straight. And by the time they floor it out of the corner,
they need to allow...
There's not enough time for them to catch up.
I don't know how you go about it.
More straights, like longer straights.
Greater DRS zones on those circuits to allow for overtaking.
Well, then people are talking about DRS shouldn't be in it at all. There shouldn't be DRS. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. I don't know how I really feel about.
I've heard both sides of that argument too. Why not trial it at a few tracks? If you've got a few problem tracks where you are getting DRS trains, why not turn DRS off?
Yeah.
What if you only had DRS for half a race?
Maybe they should test it in a few sprints.
Yeah.
Try sprints without DRS.
Trial a few things.
Or F2. They seem to trial a lot in F2 to see how it would work for F1.
Because like in NASCAR, they have, 300 odd laps, but then they have checkpoints throughout the race. Like lap 100, whoever's first gets a certain amount of points for being first at that point to try and entice drivers to push on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how you could play around with that. Maybe you had the first 20 laps, no DRS or DRS, and then after that, none, or you probably want DRS in the middle of the race so top drivers could try and track others down. But it's the same thing. Like, it's all about car development. If you got a car that's got a good top speed, then DRS is even more powerful.
Yeah, the idea, I guess, is to entice overtaking. So I can see how that's a benefit. So then if cars can still, like say Magnussen, can still keep other cars behind whilst they've got DRS, then I don't see how it changes anything by taking it away. Because he doesn't have DRS and they still can't get past.
And that's probably where it comes down to the DRS and ERS combination.
Yeah.
If you harvest your battery, like you were saying, through the sectors where you're holding everyone else up, get to the straight, deploy your battery, gives you that boost, gives you that, what do they reckon it is, X amount of horsepower more, sort of counteracts DRS from the cars behind. They can't quite get past. You just keep doing that. Eventually, your battery's going to run low, but at that point, your teammate's already however many seconds down the road. And, it's game over.
Sure is. Yeah, then you just get cars flying past you anyway.
Yeah, scaring the piss out of you. Right. Well, we could ramble on about that forever. But back to Imola.
Yeah.
Who's the biggest loser from the weekend?
I guess Alonso's up there, but he started pretty well last, and we started last and finished second last. I think it's a DNF. I think Perez finishing 8th. Like, you got to do better in a Red Bull. Your teammate's still winning, regardless it's Max Verstappen. Should be fighting for a podium at least.
Yeah, not even to crack that top 10 is pretty embarrassing in quali, and then it's just a bit of a nothing race for the most part.
Yeah. What's your thoughts?
Well, probably Aston Martin overall. I know Stroll, what did he finish in the top 10 somewhere? 9th, 10th. Got a few points, but not a great weekend from a team that should be well entrenched in the top 5. Top 5 teams on the grid, that is. But yeah, like we've said before, that team's not going to go anywhere until they replace Stroll with another competitive driver.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to be taken seriously as a Formula One team with one world-class driver and then one, like, he's an okay driver, don't get me wrong, but he's not performing at a level where Aston are going to push for, similar position to where what McLaren has done. Like, they were, started last season, they were nowhere. They were slowest car on the grid.
Yeah.
And now they're second, third in that top 3.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, they're battling for, a win.
Yeah.
Won last week, battling for the win this week. Piastri isn't far off the pace either. He's 4th. So you got Red Bull, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull.
Mercedes are nothing either. Like, they've
dropped off the pace.
They're nowhere near that top 3 teams. Like, they're just sitting there, lonely 4th. Like, I don't know what is going on with them, but I wonder if that's because they're so far off the pace, if they're going to struggle to entice another driver. Like, who are they going to get next year? It'll pan out, but...
Yeah, I guess it depends what Toto's got in mind? Does he go for
He's got
a
deep
young,
pockets.
a young prodigy like Antonelli?
Which I guess when you think about it, sort of does make sense. Chuck him in for 25, 26. Wait, it's 26 the new regs? It is, isn't it? So give him 12 months in Formula One. New regs come in. Potentially they're up there competing again. He's got a year of experience under his belt. At that point, he'll probably be 11 years old. So he's almost coming into puberty and be ready to race.
Jesus.
He would literally be, 18? Is he 17 now? 17, 18? So he might be 19.
Yeah, I don't know how old he is. 17, I think, maybe. Yeah.
Right. I don't think I've got too much more to add about Imola. Nice finish, but overall a bit
3 more
slow.
safety cars would have been nice.
Yeah. Maybe they need to work on shortening that pit lane to entice teams to jump in there a bit more often than what they did.
Maybe. I don't see what the reason is for it needing to be so long.
Oh, it does seem to carry on a bit.
Carry on like a pork chop.
Oh. Can I pat that dog?
Sure.
Rightio. Considering we didn't actually make any predictions for this race, we'll jump into predictions for next race.
I got 3. Right.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did we make predictions?
Oh, I may or may not have spoiled the result, so.
He needs those points.
Yeah.
Monaco then. Doing a 5-1.
Yeah.
Do you want a second? Because I've got mine dialed.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I don't, but I could
That's all right.
spitball it.
Fifth place. I've got a bit of a surprise bracket. Alonso. I feel like Alonso's going to bounce back. He's going to qualify well, and he's going to just hold him, stick the elbows out, and say, "You shall not pass."
Oh.
5th for me, baby.
5th for me, baby. All right. I reckon I'm going to go Carlos Sainz.
5th.
5th.
Not bad, not bad. 4th?
You want me to go?
Yeah, why not?
I reckon Sergio Perez.
Perez.
Not quite a podium.
I've got Norris 4th.
Yep.
3rd, I've got Sainz.
Yeah, okay. 3rd, I've got Lando Norris.
2nd.
For me?
Couldn't even thinking about it.
Max Verstappen.
I've also got Verstappen.
Oh.
Meaning 1st.
Charles
Leclerc. He'll get out of bed in the morning. He'll be fresh. He'll be like, my own bed. This is fantastic. He'll get up. He'll probably get on his push bike and ride 200 metres down the road to the start line and go, yes, boys. It's my time to shine. And he'll put Verstappen to the sword.
My prediction is based off that's pretty much what I think quality result will be. And that is how it will stay.
Yeah, well, Monaco, it's basically get off the line right.
Yeah.
And if there's no rain, you're laughing.
So I've gone for Leclerc getting his pole position.
Because he loves it. I've still got flashbacks to Verstappen's Sector 3 last year, where it looked like, I think it might have been Leclerc, had it covered. Yep. And then Verstappen pulls 3 or 4 tenths out of his ass in the last sector, which is, there's nothing in that last sector. There's that last little weird left, right, and then kink back out onto that straight, and he somehow, that was insane.
Yeah, I always bin it on the F1 game.
Yeah, it's wild through there. To think they do it at full noise.
I saw someone do a sim kind of thing of it as Monaco as the normal street, not as the circuit.
Yeah.
Far out. That was intense. You had cars and push bikes and
crazy,
little concrete bollards and crap everywhere, and he's just hooking it through there. I'm like, what the heck?
That's insane. So yeah, we'll see how that pans out, and we'll wrap it up with a left of field call. Oh. So I've got mine written down here.
Yeah, you better start because I didn't prepare that.
And look, I've again, I must be a new man with a new approach. Because it's Sergeant related, but I'm trying to be positive.
No.
Sargent to have a flawless weekend on one of the hardest circuits on the F1 calendar.
What's flawless?
No walls.
Mate, that's just...
No lockups. Just a clean 20th. No, not hitting any other cars. No walls. No lockups.
The whole weekend.
Just flawless. Absolutely flawless.
The whole weekend.
And he's going to come home in 20th, and it's going to be the best result of his career.
So the 20th is still flawless?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
The bar is low. But we'll see how it pans out.
I think I'm going to go a team or points-based one. And I'm going to go Williams to score their first points in Monaco.
And by that you mean Albon.
No. Alex Albon.
Yeah.
I think only a 10th because Williams are looking quite putrid. But
Yeah.
I think he'll pick himself up, dust himself off, put in a good quali,
And be off.
and hold it up there somehow.
I just thought like Williams has sort of been under the radar bad so far. Like they were competitive last year. Well, Albon was competitive last year and scoring points regularly, and they've been just meh. I think because Alpine have been so bad that they've sort of drawn a lot more attention than Williams.
Probably because Williams have only got a combination of one car to race between two of them.
Yeah. And they'll kick the other person out of the car if need be.
Yeah.
Rightio. Well, that'll give us something to look forward through the Monaco race, which is normally a bit of a snooze fest. We can hope for a bit of rain, spice it up, but
Hopefully some safety cars after Stroll bins it into the chicane. And apparently Sargent's not going to lock up.
But he's going to have a flawless weekend.
That means you can't do track limits or anything because you're saying flawless.
Yeah. He's, that little chicane at the end of the tunnel straight, he's not going to go straight through there once. Not once. He's going to...
Max does that by choice.
Yeah. He goes, give me a penalty. I need something to try and slow me up, but at least this year he might have someone on his tail.
You know what I'd love to see?
What?
Lap 1, just like Leclerc or Norris or Sainz or someone just going straight through and just taking like three positions, take the penalty, try and get off down the road and see what happens.
Sargent to do that from 20th. Takes the lead.
Sure will.
Yeah, Monaco's... I think qualifying...
You know what I'd like to hear from you?
What?
A backing of your boy Sargent to get out of Q1.
Mate.
Come on.
We're not in La La Land. That's not going to happen.
Yeah, I'm not game enough to throw that one down.
I'd be happy to see him be knocked out in Q1 and the car in one piece.
Well, can only dream.
When you think about it, Monaco's all about Saturday. As in, I'm not talking for the drivers, like as a spectator, that's typically the peak of the weekend. It's insane watching them rip around there. And then after that, it's like the race, first lap. After that,
yeah,
bit of same old.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm keen for that. Saturday quali. See what happens, how it unfolds.
I agree.
And on that note, can I pat that dog?
You can now pat that dog.
We're on. And if you haven't seen that meme, look it up. Classic.
It's bloody legendary.
Hilarious. Can I pat that dog?
Can I pat that dog?
Rightio. Well, you've been listening to another episode of the Best of the Rest podcast with Stix and Freeza. We appreciate you listening.
We certainly do.
Give us some feedback if you got any.
A review, a rating.
Good, bad, the ugly.
Wherever you listen to your podcast.
Fire us some feedback our way.
Sounds good.
We will catch you next week.
Thanks for listening.
Cheers.
See ya.
Peace.
Look at this. This is not a dog. This is a piece of shit.